Let's talk about the world of sales. Because selling, especially when it's one business selling to another, has completely changed. It's not just about making a single transaction anymore. Nope. It's grown into this complex, really strategic discipline that actually fuels a company's growth. Okay, let's get into it.
First up, we're going to map out the modern B2B or business-to-business selling journey. Then we'll zoom right in on how you should handle your most important clients. The VIPs. After that, we'll break down the two critical hats every great sales manager has to wear. And to wrap it all up, we'll take a peek at where this whole profession is headed.
So what does it really take to make it in this new environment? I'll tell you, it's not just about having a killer product anymore. It's about deeply understanding a process, building a genuine partnership, and using a playbook that, frankly, is changing all the time.
Okay, so let's start with the B2B selling journey. And trust me, the word journey is key here. This isn't just some one-off event that starts and then it's over. It's a continuous cycle. And it's all about creating and really nurturing those relationships over the long haul.
The best sales teams out there, they're not just winging it. They follow a super clear, repeatable framework. And what's really important to get here is that this is continuous and interconnected. These phases aren't just steps you take one after the other and then you're done. They actually feed right back into each other.
And here they are, the big three. First, you've got to find new opportunities. That's all your prospecting and making sure they're the right fit. Second, you have the persuasion phase, where you're showing how you can solve their problem and handling any questions. But, and this is crucial, it doesn't stop at the sale. The third phase, relationship management, is where the magic happens. You keep that customer happy, which then leads right back to identifying new opportunities with them. See, it's a loop.
So, building on that idea, that third phase, managing the relationship, becomes so incredibly important for your biggest customers that it gets its own special strategy. And that brings us to what's called key account management.
So what exactly is key account management? Let's be clear. This isn't just customer service with a fancy name. It's a full-on strategic partnership. It means you're diving deep into your most valuable client's business and basically aligning your whole company to help them win.
And why would you go through all that trouble? Well, it's simple. These key accounts are the bedrock of your company. They're your most stable, most predictable sources of income. Taking care of them isn't just good manners. It's about protecting the financial core of your business and, at the same time, finding new ways to grow together.
We've talked about the process, we've talked about the client, but what about the person leading the charge? Let's switch gears and focus on the sales manager, because to be great at this job, you have to be a master of wearing two totally different but equally critical hats.
And this just lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you've got to be the coach. This is the people person role, right? Training your team, developing their skills, keeping them motivated, and giving them support when they need it. But then, you have to flip the switch and be the captain. This is all about strategy, guiding the ship, setting the big targets, and measuring how everyone's performing against those goals.
Think about it. A manager who's only a coach might have a super happy team that consistently misses its numbers. And a manager who's only a captain might hit those targets for a while, but they'll probably burn out their team in the process. The real art is knowing exactly when to coach the player and when to captain the ship.
All right, for our last section, let's look into the crystal ball a little, because the ground beneath the entire sales world is shifting. The tools, the strategies, even what it means to be a salesperson is being totally redefined. This is the new playbook.
And this is a huge one. For the longest time, a lot of companies saw the sales team as the folks who just went out and brought in money. End of story. But now, it's a two-way street. Sales is plugged into the core strategy of the business, feeding back crucial intel from the front lines that shapes everything from product development to marketing.
So what do this new world actually look like? Well, sales is way more strategic. Thinking moves ahead like a chess player. It demands constant collaboration with other departments, like marketing. It's driven by hard data and analytics, not just gut feelings. And of course, it's woven into the fabric of social media.
And to make that totally concrete, think about how social media plugs into that sales process we mentioned earlier. For prospecting, it's a goldmine for finding new clients. For qualifying, you can research a potential client's needs and pain points before you even talk to them. And for managing the relationship, it's a fantastic way to stay connected and keep adding value. It's a serious tool.
But hold on. With all this chatter about data, new tech, and complex strategies, it's really easy to forget the one thing that holds it all together. There's this timeless principle that's actually become more important, not less, in this new world. And that's it right there. Trust.
All the fancy software and clever tactics in the world mean absolutely nothing without it. Acting ethically and building real, genuine trust, that's the non-negotiable bedrock. Without it, you don't get long-term relationships, you don't get key accounts, and you sure don't get lasting success.
So, we'll leave you with this to think about. As the playbook for sales keeps evolving, with new tools and ideas popping up constantly, the real challenge is this. How are you and how is your team going to make sure that trust stays at the absolute heart of every single thing you do?